Welcome back to Talking Water with SwitchWaterSupplier.com, and Graham Mann is with me from SwitchWaterSupplier.com, and we're going to be talking the price rises, which you may have seen domestically, you may have seen residentially, you may have seen in terms of business, but plenty of people not quite seen this coming, Graham. I was on social media started this month, and particularly in terms of residential, the people I was following, there seemed to be, I want to say a flood, but let's not go too far in terms of water. But yeah, there was a day where a lot of people, particularly in the southern water areas, I seem to follow and went, what is this? What's happened here? My water bill has just shot up by 48, 50 odd percent. And that's not just happening in residential and domestic. In fact, it's probably worse in terms of business. What are you seeing in these first kind of 3 or 4 weeks of these price rises for business?
Disbelief. In a word, that's what one word is, disbelief. The second word was, can they do this? And the third was why, which we can answer. We can answer all the questions. That's what we're here to do.
Were there different words involved in that as well?
Yeah. They are frustrated. A lot of customers, particularly, they said, again, we get back to the communication from the water industry. Those that work in the water industry are aware of the increases. And whether it's Mosul, Ofwat, the regulator, Consumer Council for Water, these sorts of, and major energy users council organisations such as this, but overall, businesses aren't aware of the increases and the impact it's going to be on their business. More to the point, because they're not being told this. They're not. It's not a steady stream of information from the water industry, as in the regulator or the market operator and things like that. So it's coming from consultancies, energy consultants, water consultants, and they'll see the impact on the bills probably May, June, July. I can just imagine the bills coming in and someone saying, "I don't think these bills are right. They've increased quite a lot. Have we got a problem with it?" And it's actually will be the unit rate that's reflective in that. So, in some areas of the country, it's the water in that's increasing 20-30%, wastewater out 30-50%, the trade effluent, which is the wastewater derived from production processes, that can go up 20-30%, and so consequently, it's a double whammy for them. So at the end of the day, they'll see this, and I think we'll see a more steady increase over the first quarter. We'll see more and more businesses, and we're actually being proactive with all our customers. Because we've got all the data from their bills. We do like the bill validation and bureau service. All the bills come to us for checking and passing for payment, and making sure the charges from the water companies are correct. And so we're sending out some models of how their prices are going to affect them, and what areas, and what they can do to mitigate the charges. So it's actually some clients aren't very proactive in looking at reducing their consumption. They just wanted procurement, say 1 or 2 years ago, or the last 6 months. And then all of a sudden we're sending these price increases through, like one in particular, £660,000 a year increase. That's ridiculous. How can they do that? Well, they have. And so that has really prompted, I wouldn't say panic, but there's a lot more urgency now. They were thinking about looking at reducing their consumption through effective water management, and that's brought that to the top of the agenda. So it's a good thing from an environmental perspective, but now they've got to start looking and getting some capex together to start fitting smart meters and start doing surveys and doing benchmarking for the groups and things like that, which is good for business. But it's I would say with 1 or 2 customers, they're very challenging, because now they know what the increases and the impact is having on their business. It's not just a case of we'll look at this next month. We'll look at this now, and so the demands on us producing the data to quantify the increases in which areas of the country and which businesses are going to be mostly impacted, then that's their focus.
Because if you take this back to a business level, you think about what the kind of all businesses are looking at this year as being hurdles to get over. A major one has been the increase in national insurance contributions that business owners are going to have to and that has been seemingly for business owners the big thing on the horizon, which is we've got to deal with this. We might not be taking any more people on. We might be reducing wages in some way. That's going to really depress the market in one way or another. How do you think this or that compares with the rising water bills that businesses are going to face?
Well, particularly with this client, they've got quite a few sites. They're in the care sector. They've got quite a few sites, so they've got 2 or 3 different categories of care within their national portfolio, and it's 350 or £340,000 short of £1 million increase. That's straight off the bottom line. So you've got to make that profit to pay that extra increase. So it is an impact, quite a serious impact, and we're seeing it on the bills as well. Particularly, Nikki, who does the bill validation and bureau service, she said, "Good God, Welsh Water have increased their price from this to this. That's significant, and people will notice that, and they'll see the bills coming. And at the end of the quarter, they're doing their balance sheet or something like that. It's coming through. Wow, and it will draw that focus. And it's up to us as a business and other businesses like us to get that message out there. Be accurate, be educational. You can do something about it. You can mitigate those charges. It's a shame, really, because it's almost like front loaded. We expected the charges to be high over the next 5 years to pay for the 108 or 109 billion pounds worth of investment that the water companies have to put into the industry to improve wastewater treatment and leakage and that sort of thing. But more to the point is why did they have to do it front? Why was it front loaded? Why does it have to be so much year one? Because year 2 could be the same, year 3 could be the same, probably not as much. But at the end of the 5-year period, which is the review period for charges, we could be looking at 100% increases. And the larger users had large user tariffs. They will been withdrawn. So they're not benefiting from, I'm a large user, so I have to pay a large user tariff and I pay less for my water and my wastewater. That's all been withdrawn. There's no phasing period there. The only phasing period for the cancellation of they call them large user tariffs is in the public sector. So the prison service gets a phasing period of 2 or 3 years, but the private sector doesn't. It's just a case of, no, you're not on that anymore. You have to go pay the same as everybody else.
And if you've got 5 years of investment going in, at the end of that 5 years, they go, we've done really well here. We've sorted out all the pipes and everything. Those prices aren't coming down, are they?
No, they're not coming down. No, they won't come down. But it opens up a whole new ball game. It's a whole new innovation. I was going through some old files on Friday, actually, because we're looking to vacate the offices into new offices somewhere else because of the city centre issues. And I found some old reports, about 46 reports for a large leisure company. And then we were looking at the possibility of having a private water supply, so boreholes. Instead of using towns' mains, we use our private water supplies, we'll drill for our own water. So out of that 46 sites, there were 27 that would benefit from their own private supplier. That'd be going off-grid and coming off towns' mains, assuming you can get a licence, okay, in the areas of the country that we were looking at. And that was a saving, something like about £5 million a year. Now, 7 years ago, when we did the study, because I got all the reports, I archived them and I brought all these out, and I've got some notes on there saying not interested in investing. Now, this particular company has been sold and bought out by another investment portfolio. I bet you that they would be interested in it because the charges are going up 30 to 50%. It brings the payback down from, say, 5 years to probably 2.5 years. And then it starts to get interesting, doesn't it? So, your own private water supply, you don't have to take the water from the town's mains. You can have your own private supply, subject to getting a licence from the Environment Agency. So, kind of like there's a big market on the off-grid water system or off-grid water supplies, bubbling away in the industry.
Bubbling away. The trickle will become a flood soon. That is one thing that we've been talking about, which is off-grid water supplies and ways of mitigating these price increases if you're a business. And in the next few weeks, you're going to see your business water rates go sky high. There's ways and means of doing it. A really simple way is to look at whether you've got a leak on the premises, whether you're using water effectively, and whether your bills are actually working for you, whether you could actually change the contract that you're on already. And all of those possibilities are through switchwatersupply.com, aren't they?
Absolutely. It all starts with effective, smart procurement, water audits, get your bills right, get them correct, and then start a water management process of driving down the water and your wastewater volumes.
Use less water, make sure that those bills are going down because you're using less water, make sure the contract is right, and then there's further steps, as we say, maybe getting your own water supply so that the water is coming directly to you and you're not having to pay for the way that water goes all the way through that system and comes right back to you at the start. So many ways that switchwatersupplier.com can help you. Time to get in touch with Graham Mann. We'll speak to you and to Graham very soon with more Talking Water.
Bye for now.